We are in open session, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Pećanac, we are now in open session. Everything what is said in court will be available for the public, not only here in the public gallery, but also in the internet. We were in private session earlier today due to the confidential nature of the filings in this case, and to preserve the possibility that you, Mr. Pećanac, would testify in the Tolimir case with protective measures. As this is not the case, no submission was made in this respect. I will just briefly state for the record that while in private session I confirmed with you your full name and date of birth, that you are receiving the proceedings in a language you understand, that you were transferred to the detention unit of the United Nations yesterday on the 9th of October 2011, the state of your health and detention, and that you have received the order in lieu of an indictment and that you have understood its contents. Now you have the right, you are entitled to have the order in lieu of indictment read out to you in court today, but you may choose to dispense with that. Do you wish it to be read out now, or do you waive that right, Mr. Pećanac?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've read the order many times, believe me, so I don't think it's necessary to have it read out to me again. Thank you.
Thank you. I take it that you waived your right. Now, pursuant to Rule 62A 3 of our Rules of Procedure and Evidence, you can enter a plea to the charge of contempt set out in the order in lieu of indictment today, if you so choose. Or, as you indicated earlier, you can decide to postpone your plea for a period up to 10 days, in accordance with Rule 77E of our Rules of Procedure and Evidence. I take it that you discussed this matter with your counsel, but I would like to ask you again and to put your answer on the record. How do you wish to proceed? To enter a plea or to postpone this?
Poštovani gospodine sudija.
Your Honor, I shall postpone my plea for the next 10 days. Thank you.
Mr. Pećanac, it is clearly in your interest to have this matter resolved as quickly as possible. However, I would like to ask you, how much time do you think you will need to consider your plea, bearing in mind that you have up to 10 days, as well as the nature of the charge against you?
Uvaženi gospodine sudija.
Your Honor, after my first meeting with Attorney Tomislav Višnjić, I will decide immediately. It's a technical matter. If I could have a meeting with him today, I would be able to decide already today. It all depends on when he comes. After I meet him for the first time, my decision will be ready. I believe Mr. Tomislav Višnjić will be here at the Hague Tribunal tomorrow, the day after tomorrow.
Thank you. Mr. Pećanac, you have heard the comment of Mr. McCloskey, the prosecutor, about a possible conflict of interest, as counsel has worked for another accused in our tribunal. This is the question the registry has to decide. Are there any other matters to discuss during the initial appearance of today? Mr. Pećanac.
Hvala, gospodine sudija.
Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, I wish to say that I have never become familiar with the issues on which I would have to testify in the case of General Tolimir. And as prosecutor Mr. McCloskey probably knows, there will probably be no conflict of interest. General Krstić and General Tolimir are two very different things. I believe there will be no conflict of interest, and I believe Mr. Tomislav Višnjić will be approved by the registry or whatever other competent service. As far as I know, there are not many points of contact between General Tolimir and General Krstić on issues that I assume I would have to testify on in the Tolimir case. Thank you.
Mr. McCloskey.
Yes, Mr. President, we'll look forward, should OLAD decide, the registry decide to appoint Mr. Višnjić to speak to him, but I also wanted Mr. Pećanac to know that should he have any questions of us at this time after court, we're certainly ready to meet with him and his lawyer, answer any of his questions and that we can, and try to help this matter along so he can get back to Belgrade as soon as possible.
Mr. Pećanac, the Tolimir case is scheduled for 10:30 this morning. Probably we will not be able to start at 10:30, but at 11 o'clock. I would invite you and ask you to be present at 11 o'clock in the Tolimir case. Up to that point in time, you may still have the opportunity to decide to testify or not to testify. It's still your decision. In the meantime, you may consult Mr. Diekmann. You may have contact with the prosecution. It's up to you. But this is, in fact, a last chance for you to decide to testify or not to testify. Therefore, we will have the Tolimir case commencing at 11 o'clock in your presence, and then I will ask you again. Furthermore, a further initial appearance will be scheduled after consultation with the registry, if there is a need for that. Meanwhile, you will remain in custody at the United Nations Detention Unit, and your counsel can inform you of any further information governing your detention. This concludes the initial appearance. We adjourn.
All rise. We will be.